Hi team! So this video is going to be about how to get onto Google Classroom, and it's for anybody that is not familiar with it. Mostly this would be for support staff or AEs or any teachers that haven't used it before. This is a very brief, very elementary version. All right, so how you would get there, there's a number of ways how to get to Google Classroom. Probably the easiest is to go to your Google Drive and click on your little Google app dots, and you would click on Classroom. And what shows up is all of the classes that you have been added to or you have created. Right here is our list, our kind of menu. So you can go to your certain classes that way. I can see what I'm enrolled in and then what I actually am teaching or I have been added to as a teacher. Here's like a little to-do thing, which I think is kind of interesting. So this is what the kids see. And if you give them due dates, they should be able to see all of their classes and their assignments and when they need to get them done. All right, so let's go back to the classes. And if you needed to add a class, you would click this add button. And then this would be to join a class. If you have the code and that's all you have, you would join a class and then you would type in the code and that would work. Or if you wanted to create a class, you could create anything, any sort of class, any sort of subject, and you would create it. Now you can edit some of your, so if you change you can upload a photo to your theme, you can select a theme from the different types of, so let's select a class theme. And then this is where you would communicate with your class. Now I'm going to go back to one of my classes that I've already set up. In that, I want to show you my social skills class. Now my social skills class has probably the most content, and it's not even that much, but it has some content in it. Now, this is something that I just did, and I wanted to so first of all, this is the stream, and this is where you'll see everything that you've posted. Something that I think is interesting to just mention is that it goes backwards. So whenever you post something, it just shows up at the front. And if kids are just logging on, they'll see this thing that was posted at 10:32, just a couple minutes ago today. And then they'll see all these other things, and they might be not in order. So I want to be clear that it's important for these to be in order. And in order to do, it's kind of a clunky way to do it, but you can move to the top. So if you move certain things to the top and you do it in order, then you can get the correct order, if that makes sense. So let's just keep moving all these things to the top, because if I want this post, this new question at the bottom, I'll just keep doing it. Okay, so now it shows how to log on to Seesaw, my first Seesaw activity, mindful seeing, mindful listening, and then my last question that I just posted today. So that's a way that you can organize your posts to be latest to most recent, and so then they can catch up if that's something that you want to do. Otherwise it shows when you posted it, sort of like Facebook. Under classwork is another way that the students can look at their assignments. And if when you add a class or an assignment and you add a topic, then it puts it into these little categories. So one topic I have is mindfulness, and then I have my mindful listening, mindful seeing, all in that one place. Here's a Seesaw topic. I have my first, and here are directions on how to do certain things and do nows. I want to go through really quickly how to add an assignment. Before I do that, here are all the people that are in this specific class. So I invited all these people. Most of my SEAs have accepted the invite, and then the students obviously we're waiting on. So when we do classwork, we can create a new one. And you can do anything. You can do an assignment, a quiz assignment, question, just post any sort of material. So let's just do a question. Let's do another do now question. What kind of animal would you be? All right, so it's going to be a short answer. You can always add things. You can go to the Google Doc and add things. You can add a link, you can add a file or a YouTube link. Now, just be careful. Make sure that the students are going to be able to see the YouTube videos that you post. If they can't get onto their own network, then we might need to you might need to do a screencast of the video. So then you would go over here and say, oh, who is this for? Everything that I am a teacher in pulls down. And so I could put this question in all of my classes if I wanted. And then I also, which students do I want? I maybe don't want all my students to see this. And then you can pick your certain students. It's taking a while to load right now, but you also can change turn it to ungraded. You can change the points. You can change your due date. And then this is where you could put in, I'm going to put it in my do now topic. I'm going to say that students can reply to each other. If you want to turn that off, obviously just click it off. Answer the question and respond to peers. You know, even just something as simple as that. Then you hit ask. Now there is this kind of cool thing where you can schedule it. So you can schedule when to post it and just the date and time. It's really quite interesting, I think. So I'm just going to post it, and then it'll show up. Again, it'll show up in my classwork under my labels. It will also show up in my stream. And then if you do want to reorganize that stream, remember you can do it in that way too. If you want to see how it is to respond, this is where you would respond, and any kid would respond. I would be a lion, and then just hit respond, and then anybody can respond to you. You should be able to. The students should be able to respond to each other. So that's kind of a really brief overview of Google Classroom. Mostly, I think it's a really great place to just start and be a hub for things, because I know that there's a lot of great resources and different apps that are interesting. And so then you can just, make your content in those apps and post it on there. I know some of our SEAs are planning on doing a video. This would be a fine place to do that. Just post it in there. So you would go to classwork, you would go to create, and then you would click whatever you want. It could be an assignment. And then this is where you would add it. And if it's a video, you're probably going to want to do just upload it to your Google Drive and do it that way. So once you hit Google Drive, you can see all my recent uploads. So let's say I just want to upload this, then you just click on it and add it. And this is where you can have it so students can edit their file, or you can make a copy for each student. So if it's like a worksheet that you want them to fill in, then you could make a copy for each student. Each student will have their own copy. They won't have to worry about it when they open it up. It's going to create their own copy. And then nobody's messing with each other's answers or copies. All right. So let's just go back. I don't think that there's really anything else. If you guys have come across anything and you have questions, let me know. I'm by no means an expert, but this is just a brief overview on how to get started. All right, I hope it helps. Thanks.